business. I got your card too. So
Yes. So my name is Hyacinth Tucker, and I'm the proud owner and CEO of the Laundry Basket LLC.
now, when you think about laundry,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that I mean, from the moment that we got here, we were doing laundry,
That's
right?
right. Yep.
And you made a
A
business
business.
out of this
A
laundry,
thriving
right?
business. Yes.
Tell us that moment when you said, "I'm gonna make some money."
Well, I first have to start with the journey, right? And so I always look at it as a very divine situation that happened. In 2022, I was going through a divorce. I had also lost a business due to COVID. I was in the event business. And so all of that dried up, obviously, during COVID. And so at that time, I was doing, like things to, just make extra cash. So I was doing Uber, I was doing Instacart, I was pet sitting. I don't even like animals, but just to get
You was
extra
making
money.
it happen.
Hey,
I hope y'all hearing this, right?
Sometimes
She was
you gotta
doing
do
what
you have
needed to
do.
be done.
That's
Now, a
right.
lot of times people forget that.
Yeah.
They sit around waiting for a little furry.
Yeah.
It don't come, right?
That's right.
You got to work.
You
So
have to.
let's keep on with this.
Okay. And so I went to go visit a friend. And so I literally walked into her living room, and there were piles and piles and piles of clothes everywhere.
Get out my
And
house.
I mean everywhere.
Get out my house.
But we started laughing and talking about it because, of course, I'm the same way. I was like, no one loves to do laundry. But the turning point was that I saw that she was actually buying new clothes instead of washing the clothes that she had.
I have
So
some
we're not
friends.
talking
Y'all
about-
laughing, right? Y'all laughing at her or at yourself, right? Because I'm telling, yes. I'm like,
Right. And that's the thing. Like, we're not talking underwear. See, that we're talking about like full on outfits. Now, maybe she was, a shopaholic too, but still. And so I was like, sis, we can't continue like that. At some point, you're going to have to wash this laundry. And she looked at me and she said, I really wish there was someone that could come and take all these clothes and I would pay for it. Now, once again, I already set it up, right? So she said my magic words, which was pay for it.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, I'll do it. And we literally turned that $20 into almost $500,000 3 years later.
no, don't give them everything. Don't give them everything. All right, because see, sometimes when you say big money like that, $500,000, you first was finding you.
Yeah.
You were doing Instacart. You was
Yeah.
doing everything because you were in that transition mode.
That's right.
And where my charmer at? Because he has these rings that when you in that, but you were in that transition mode.
Yeah.
And some of that transition, it wasn't even because you wanted to be in that transition.
Nope, not at all.
You know how God set you up.
That's right.
For
That's
better
very
things,
divine.
right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And so in that moment, you were solving a problem.
Yeah.
Most of our business at the core, if you realize the problem that you're solving, you're not ever going to be broke.
That's right.
Nor will you be broken.
That's right.
Because see, someone else's problem that you solve is your profit. Can y'all say profit? And that's what it's all about, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So you got from solving a problem, right?
Yes.
So kind of, how do you get into the business? Because sometimes it stays as a hustle, but you made it a business.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, of course, never designed to be a business, right? It was really just another thing to add on to everything else that I was doing. But it's kind of one of those things that you, like, I always say, like, when you buy a blue car and then everywhere you go, you see blue cars. It was like that, right? Everywhere I went, I kind of saw, it was like on social media, I ain't doing laundry. I saw the memes, I saw the t-shirts, I saw this. And so my ears were already perked to it because, this was something that I was doing. So I just happened to. So once again, I'm just doing this one person, my friend. And I went to a mom's group at that time. And you know how you just like, just talking, like, and I was just like, yeah, I'm doing my friend's laundry. And like everyone kind of just looked at me. It was like, you're doing laundry? Like, they were like, I have some in my trunk you can do right now. So when we talk about like market research and like, doing like that customer discovery, that was like my first focus group. Because while I was in that group and I had a group of people and I had the attention, I was kind of like, so what would you look for? What was it that you need when it comes to pricing? How much would you pay for that? How many times would you do that? Have the service. So that's how we came up with a subscription model. Like, what other services would you want? And they were like, well, dry cleaning, alterations, all these things, shoe repair, whatever. And so, it's called a thing, of course, in marketing is like the pocket share. Because it's like, why have someone else go to someone else if you can provide that service too? That's kind of adjacent. So that's when we started, I started doing like dry cleaning and, as well as
you just
alterations.
Expanded. Okay, y'all hear this? Yeah. She started with realizing that I could do. And when you do, the universe brings you. But you got into the pocket.
Yeah.
A lot of times we dive into our business and we go within. We like, this is my baby. This is my business, right? And sometimes we don't even want to tell nobody that we're in the business because we haven't figured out if are we really in the business, right?
Yeah.
But you were open to just be honest and tell people this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
How did you get the confidence to share?
Yeah. So I would say, I do have like an MBA degree. So at the beginning, I was kind of like, do I want to be like the laundry lady? Like my mama done spent all this money on all this education, and this is what I'm doing. But what it was is that I saw the impact. And sometimes when you see the impact of what you're doing and you see the value of what I'm doing, like I had a client at the beginning, one of those moms, and she was deciding between a good night's sleep and washing clothes. Like she had kids, and it was like every night she would have to do clothes so that they can have clothes. First they went in sports and all the things or whatever, and how kids get. And she had to make that decision every night. Am I gonna go to sleep and get like 7 to 8 hours of sleep, or am I gonna stay up and do these loads of laundry?
That's real talk.
And that's when I was like, yeah,
that's real talk.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's something I had to do. Even when I didn't want to. It was like, so those days that I didn't want to do it, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I keep on thinking about her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to that one because, hold on. You saw the need, but you still have moments when you wanted to stop.
Oh, yeah.
But don't go there yet. Don't go there yet, right?
Okay.
So y'all here, she got her, what degree?
An MBA.
Now, you are using that.
Yeah.
Did you know you were going to be using that doing what you're doing?
No. I feel like every step of my journey, that's why I just feel like it's so divine. So I'm also an Army veteran. And so I worked in the operating room. So being very detail oriented and of course teamwork and, mission oriented, like those are the things. I'm also an immigrant. I'm from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. And, you just came out from Jamaica. Yeah, y'all heard that?
Jamaica. And raised in Brooklyn. So everything that has happened in my life for the past 51 years now, like it's really made me who I am. Made me who I am. And made me ready for it.
Made me ready for it. Mm-hmm. And that's real. And I want y'all to hear that. Because sometimes we think it's supposed to come out this way. Yeah. And it don't.
It doesn't.
But when you let go, and when I'm saying let go, y'all might have heard that song, let go, let go, let go. And sometimes it's let go without the S. Because you got going. Yeah. You didn't stop. You just kept going, right? Mm-hmm. Now, even with going, you decided at times to give up. Yeah. Let's talk about that. How did that, and then how did you get back to going?
Yeah. So, it's a journey. So of course, once again, I didn't go to school for laundry. So it's been a learning journey, but it's also a very high touch type of business as well. And I was doing it by myself before my husband joined me.
I'm gonna ask about him. Nothing like a good man.
This is husband number 2, obviously. But yeah, so it was me by myself in my car. It was nothing fancy. It was just, we came, we picked up. Well, not we. I came, I picked up. I did it at home. I returned it. I packaged it. I folded it. Now, once again, it's laundry. It's not like the most glamorous things. And, but anyway, so there was this one time that I went to go to a client's house. It was pouring out rain. And it would be that one time where, you have to, walk all this way to get to it. And it's all the way up the stairs and like on the 5th floor. And I'm just like, God, this can't be life. But once again, it was... At that time, that was like, she was going through a transition. And this was like her first apartment from coming from a homeless situation. And I was just like, I am that person that is helping her to have clean clothes so she can go on a job interview the next day. Yeah. And so once again, because I get to hear the stories, right? Because, someone's coming together. We no longer have like the milkman and all this stuff and the milk, now it's just like, we have people that service us, but sometimes we don't really get that interaction. Being the laundry person, I really get to do that. So, I get to hear the stories of the clients and those types of things. So it's things like that. Huh? Well, now we work with a lot of seniors. So yeah, so I don't do as much, of course, on a day-to-day basis now. But yeah, so definitely, I just have so many stories of just why what we do is so important and so needed.
Now, do y'all remember the name of the business? Say the name again, because I want them to go home and be like, I met this amazing woman.
The laundry basket.
Yes. Can y'all say that with her? Yes, that's our business, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. And I want to say our because each of your clients are a part of you. Yeah. And you are a part of them, right? And so in that moment of saying no, I would be like, wow, you know, that's some steps, because you got to come back down those steps, right?
Steps.
Yes.
And these bags heavy.
Yeah.
They're heavy.
Hey, go back up. Right. How did you find your process? Because see, having an idea and then doing it, and you kind of like figuring it out. Yeah. But how did you find your process?
Yeah, so the process has, obviously morphed over the past 3 years, but it has been mentorship. Honestly, like I said, I'm not afraid to, when I don't know something, to lean on someone else that may. There's times when it's, this journey is like, that's what I say, you can't really be on this journey solo, because those times when you're having anxiety, isolation, sadness, all the experiences, experiences that you have, like you need someone that can kind of tell you to keep on going, cheer you up. And so it's taken each day at a time. So we had to figure out what it was. Like, now remember, there's no website at this time. This is just, you call me. It was a referral thing. Like, I know somebody. Gotta
know somebody.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know a girl, so it was like someone who was like, if you want to make this into a business, now we actually have to formalize it, right? So now, getting your EIN, getting a bank account, like, they can't just be, doing this on the side. And when I decided to make it an actual business, that's when everything started coming together. Yeah. And then, of course, not being afraid to talk about it, right? So we have to be visible with our businesses. Now, I am an introvert, so I kind of like being, behind the scenes, but
she goes to somebody's house to get their clothes, and you behind the scenes.
Well,
okay, yeah, but we gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, that's right. So it stretched me into, the person I am now is different than the person I was before.
I'm glad you said it.
I've been learning. Yeah. I've been learning. So I'm able to sit in front of, a group of people now and talk. I wouldn't have been able to do that 3 or 4 years ago. So, but definitely need the process. It needed to be not some, fly by night. It needed to be legit. People needed to be able to, see who we were as a business. So we had to get a website, and we wanted to make it automated, because I was like, I can't keep on following up with everyone. So we needed, the systems in the place. And then, of course, now we have the team, and, now, the vans and that type of thing. So we just
the vans. Hey, brother. The team, and I'm gonna do this, right. Drop that revenue, that revenue, that number again.
Yeah. So we ended 2025 at 489,000.
Woo! Don't feel good. Give it to her. But on top of the money, you've impacted. You see, we started with she solves the problem for. There's chairs up front too, love. She solved the problem for people who, I can imagine your friend, because I have friends like that too. It's easier for them to go shopping. They say shop therapy. How many of you all do shop therapy, right? Yes. It's easy to go shopping and buy something new than take care of what you already have.
Yeah.
And that basically, it's you see that in so many people.
Yeah.
And it gets more frustrating.
Yeah.
So in you solving a problem, you became what? Because you're more than a businesswoman. Who did you become with launching this business?
I'm like getting in from the audience. Besides a business person, right? But it's a problem solver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, it's interesting, because like I'm like, yeah, I am. Yeah. Like, you kind of sometimes just do, and you don't even sit and kind of think about what it is that you're doing.
You hear that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, sis. Thank you.
So we're going to open up for questions, right? But we're going to do this. See, the Greater Washington Urban League understands this Business Wisdom Wednesday, it's for all of us. Yeah. Because as a business owner, sometimes we can get out there. We could make some money and all, but we get out there and we kind of forget why I started. Yeah. And for those of you sitting, you might do something amazing. But when you can take that amazing thought of what you do and just say, what problem do I solve? And then who do I solve it for when I do it? And then when I do that, the universe grows me. Yeah. Because you became not just profitable, but the people that you work with you. They don't work for, they work with you.
That's right.
How did you get those individuals? Name one person that you like, I'm glad this person is with me because I can't do it without them?
It's hard to say just one. We are now a apprentice, registered apprentice. So we're like the only apprenticeship for laundry and dry cleaning. But
More
besides
money.
like the prison system. And so so we get people that come in and out. So we like to hire people that are returning citizens, veterans, our seniors. So the people who kind of are really really yearning for like another chance and like an opportunity, like those are the people that we like to hire. So it's kind of like seeing that and knowing the background of the people that are working behind the scenes to get stuff done. So from the person picking it up, from the person washing it, drying it, folding it, packaging it, from the person that when you call, that may answer the phone or doing the customer support, the person doing our marketing. So we like to have so now we're a team of 11.
Wow.
And so we've expanded now into different cities. So we're not only here, but we're also in Cleveland and Atlanta, and we just opened Houston earlier this year. So it's like seeing it grow. And so I'm so proud of what we're doing and what we're doing even for the school system. So we're working with...
Hold on, don't tell me everything. Don't tell me everything. Oh. Don't tell me everything. Yeah, but y'all want to hear some more, don't y'all, right? Yeah. But see, this started, again, we're going to go back to, it started. You were in that transition.
Yeah.
Having a conversation. Thank you, love. Yeah. You should be up here with a friend. And in that friend, you saw your friend needed you, and she didn't even realize it because you got that degree, and sometimes that degree make people don't even want to talk to you, right? I got my degree, right? But you put all that and said, I will serve.
Yeah.
And in that service is what our core business is all about.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I hear people all the time saying, where can I make my first million? And I'm like, well, where can you get to the service of what you do?
Right.
When can you get to, on purpose, provide that solution for millions of people? And now you're in multiple states. So what I want to do before we go, we're going to break and then we're going to come back because the food is ready and I want y'all to eat some more, right? I asked you, who did you become? When you were going through that, what did you ask the universe, God, what did you ask for that you know now you have?
Wow. I really asked to be a voice also, right? To also highlight some of the ills that are going on that we kind of just don't think about. And laundry is one of those things when we look at seniors, right? And we look at aging in place. And we look at, we want to keep them at home, but there's certain skill sets and certain things that they may no longer be able to do, going up and down stairs, go to the basement, being able to turn knobs. And so being able to be a voice for those, types of, clients that we serve. We work with a lot of nonprofits. And so now we're able to donate clothes, right? So whenever we pick up clothes, we also pick up donated clothes as well. And then we're able to launder them and then, give them to our unhoused population. So it's being able to be a voice and to be able to, help others. And I think it's really all about, for me, is the impacts. And then as you said, it's really not even about the money. Like I said, I'm in my 50s, I've lived life, everything is good, but it really is now, how do I give back?
Yes.
And how do I create like the legacy? So seeing my children help out, seeing them being a part of the business, my husband, now part of the business, I think that is really what gives me the satisfaction now.
Oh, y'all see she sit back in that chair a little bit. The Greater Washington Urban League has the Bow Hands program. And in our Bow Hands program, we not only meet one another, we get to take time to unpack what we've been asking. Because sometimes we be asking for a business and we have no idea what we're asking for. And then when we get it and it's harder, we run away from it. But you almost ran, but you stayed, right? And you're doing it and you're realizing that you become more of who you naturally are. Because see, one of the things we do at the Urban League is we understand that we make things equal in our service. No one else is going to serve those clients the way you serve those clients. No one's going to hear the detail that you give that senior or the opportunity that you give in that brother or sister that says, you still matter and I need you. So I want to take a moment. My brother in the back with Urban League, thank you so much for coming. Say who you are. And you do what one more time? Financial coach. Y'all hear that, right? So I want to take a moment, right, for us to get some food, for us to touch each other, for us to share about what we do, and then we're going to come back. And y'all want to hear some more, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you. For those of you who are going to watch this, you should be here. Business Wisdom Wednesday, here. Business Wisdom Wednesday, where we bring the best of our businesses to our community. In this intimate space, we are able to tell the truth, be real, and inspire others to know that they can too. So we just got finished talking about, tell us your business.
The Laundry Basket.
And your name?
Hyacinth Tucker.
And everybody came back. No one went home because you're a very exciting young lady. You know that, right?
Yeah, thank you.
So at the core of who you are, you are, go ahead, unpack it, because you got your degree, you got children, so you're a mother, you're a wife, so tell me about who are you?
Wow. I am a lover of people, honestly. I am someone who understands hard work, resilience, like I said, coming over here from a different country, always looking for an opportunity, to help, to be of assistance to, to other people. But that's really where my heart is. So my MBA is actually in nonprofit management because my goal was to open up a group home for pregnant teens. When I was at Towson, which is where my undergraduate, that's where we did some community service at a group home there. And that really made me want to do that, but specialize in doing that and being like an executive director. So that is why I actually got into that.
Wow, I didn't realize you had a group home. I had a group home also.
Oh no, I wanted to.
Okay, well I literally did it, and it was for girls. It was called a Fuller Home, and I thought that was something I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And 3 years I realized that it wasn't. I had to pivot.
Yeah.
Transition. But again, because sometimes when we start something, it leads us to knowing that maybe not. Right?
Yeah.
And so we talked about a little about your past. We love to kind of sometimes sweep that under the cover, and not realizing that there's some things in your past that made you who you are in your present. Can you tell us maybe 3 of those things that you know that you are because of your past?
Yeah. So, like I said, definitely the resilience. Coming here as a young child, definitely had more of an accent than I do now. I had like the big glasses, the funny hair, all the things that would get you talked about, in elementary school, middle school, that type of thing. So that has helped me, right? Because it has allowed me to kind of take things with stride. Know exactly who I am and my worth and my value, and not let someone else tell me who I am. So, but I had to learn that. Of course, I didn't learn that when I was 10 and here, but it's like, as I continue to grow, so that is definitely, why I love doing what I'm doing, because I want to instill in other people like their value and their worth, as well. So that's definitely one thing. Like I said, the military has taught me, things as well. Army.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. So definitely about teamwork, working together to get stuff done. And so like I said, I couldn't do any of this without the team that I have. The fact I'm able to sit here is because I still have a team. We operate 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., in all these different cities. But it's because of the team that I'm, able to, come out and, touch
and share.
Yeah.
And so now in your presence, because that deciding to go into business on purpose, for those of you who are just coming in, this young lady started a business, and what year was it?
2022.
And do you remember the day?
July 1st.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
July 1st.
That was your birthday, right? For your business, right?
Yeah, right, for the business.
So in your presence, right, the things that you're doing now, what are some of the things that you have to, because you are successful in business? And I want to go to to success is not just the dollar, because you're making good money, but it's having the system that we talked about. So you ready?
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So the first thing that I have to operate in excellence, right? Once again, as I talked about before, it's a real high touch thing. And when it comes to, people in their clothes, they don't play. Another thing that I have to educate and be a thought leader when it comes to this space, right? Because we, as a community, we buy clothes, but we really don't take care of it, right? No one really looks at the label. We're just doing whatever with our clothes and then wondering why it has this on it, why is it this color, that type of thing. So I have to educate people about proper maintenance of clothes. I have to talk more about, being sustainable, right? So what we do is that we need that one shirt and we do a whole load of laundry and use all that water for just one shirt, right? So I have to talk about that. We have to be more conscious when it comes to that. The products that we use, how we use them, what's going on in our skin. I have to talk about those things. I have to talk about how it is in workforce development, right? That we have people who are still making $11, $12 an hour in hospitality. People working in laundromats and dry cleaners, the people behind the back that where it's hot and they just working from sun up to sundown. They still aren't getting paid what they should be paying, right? I have to talk about the fact that we need more programs about upskilling and reskilling, right? Mm-hmm. Because we have to teach people that there's more to what they're currently doing and that they also can go into leadership and management positions as well. So I have to talk about, how entrepreneurship is a way of wealth, for our people, right? There's real estate, there's investments, there's all this stuff, but entrepreneurship is one of those things where you can be whoever you want to be, and there's like no ceiling, right? So those are some of the things that I have to talk about.
Yeah.
And I do talk about.
Yeah. And but when you started that path, right? Yeah. You don't have a clue that you are morphed into this.
Right.
And this is why these spaces are so important because we have to do so much. Because I don't know about you, but I couldn't call my daddy and say, Dad, I have, can you give me a little of my trust fund money because I got this business idea.
Oh, that's another thing we go into, that capital.
Yeah. So when you think about that one thing that you no longer have to do, because there's sometimes you cross a door, you cross a bridge, and you know that other stuff is no longer in, it's not in your presence, it's your past.
Yeah. So when I think about what I no longer have to do is really shrink myself, right? Or to have limited thinking. Like, I've been able to dream dreams and be in, rooms and opportunities and be around people. I see this DC area, I deal with a lot of busy professional people. So, a lot of, different individuals that we're dealing with. And so I've learned that I can be who it is that, whatever it is that I want to do, so I don't allow, like I said, anyone to like shrink my dream. And so when I talked about, the different places that we want to get to 25 cities by 2030, we're already, on that path. We also work with amazing companies. So we've grown from just being a residential company. So we work with gyms, spas, hotels, universities, airlines, department stores. And then, of course, we do contracting on the local, state, and federal side. So we actually manage the laundry linen that comes out of VA hospital. So that's the laundry basket that does that. And so I would have never thought 3 years ago that we would be doing federal contracting. We would be doing, we have a contract with United. We do like the PGA tours, we have the colleges and the universities. We do, we have programs on there as well. So it's just like, I never thought that 3 years ago.
Never thought that.
Wow.
I
never thought that 3 years ago.
So for those who want to reach you, how do we do that?
So our website is laundrybasketdelivery.com. We also, also on Instagram and Facebook at Laundry Basket Delivery. And then you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. I will respond. Talk to me. Any questions about, even if it's not just my journey, but just entrepreneurship as well, capital, that has been a thing that I talk about a lot because it is out there. It's just, having to be creative because, of course, all of this, I didn't have the money at that time. I already told my story. I was doing it because for $20, because I needed that.
Yeah.
But, with the help of, different organizations and different programs, we were able to secure funding, just anything I can talk about.
Great. And so in our Bow Our Hands program, we look at your past, your present, but we kind of go into that legacy when we literally know that there's a future, right? So in your presence, you are talking about the things that you have to. You also share some things you no longer do, right? But when you get into that quiet space, the people around you, and you said it, and I'm glad y'all heard her say, no longer will you shrink into someone else's, perception of who you should be or could be, right? But when you are shining, you shine upon others and you inspire others. Can you share some ways where you have seen others around you, maybe people who work with you, or there's other people who have got that spark and became something more than they thought they was in that moment?
Yeah, I think it would go back to like I said, the team and like the workforce is creating environments for people to grow. It's creating environments for people to have a voice and to have a say, right? And so the team that we work with, we make sure that we cross, we cross, give them skills like in different things as well. So they're also able to lead the meetings as well. And so even though it's only been 3 years for this business, I've been able to see people where they start off at one thing and now they're doing something else in the business, and because we give them that opportunity to have a voice, I don't even lead any of the meetings. They come with their agenda, that type of thing. Like if they say, hey, we should be doing that, I'm like, that's a great idea. So, start working on that.
Yeah.
So
that's what it's about.
So that is like, for me, it's the team and seeing how
they're growing. And our businesses, your businesses, when you get into those systems and you get into growing, the people around you that working with you, they also grow. And it's good to say, look at that brother, or look at that sister. And Noah, did y'all think about all of the laundry contracts that are out there? The laundry industry is a multi-billion.
144 billion.
There it is. Say it again.
$144 billion industry.
And we think about laundry. Did y'all think about, y'all hear this? And I'm like, I look, doing my research. There's a guy who started in Harvard while he was a student. He's making more money as a Harvard grad doing laundry that he started in Harvard. He was just started doing the laundry for the rugby team. And then that morphed into, he has major contracts, right? So let's talk about the future now. You know that there's $1 billion industry and you still are a small but powerful player in this space. Tell us about your next.
So the next for us is like, we're still, when it comes to technology, we're still doing it. Like the laundry industry is a really outdated, honestly, business, but there's ways to, involve, innovate and to get tech into it. So right now we're building out AI agents that can detect stains. And then they can also do work orders, and then they can also train individual as well. And so we're also looking at autonomous driving and delivery as well. So getting stuff picked up and delivery, and it's not really like an actual physical person doing that. Of course, like the lockers and that type of thing. And then we're also now going into like the college campuses. So we have our Dorm Fresh program, and that's specifically for college students, but it's student-run, student-led laundry businesses on college campuses. And so we're looking to do a pilot in Baltimore for the fall semester and, see what goes from there.
See what goes from there. Go on, girl. You took the words out of my mouth. And so that future, did y'all hear her say, well, my future is to make more money? It's that impact which will make more money. And you are doubling down on young people, which is beautiful, right? So when you think about your growth, what is your need for that growth? What do you need to grow?
Systems and processes. So I think that that's like really, really, really important. My business is a business of convenience, right? It's a business of like, you could do it, but why would you, right? Because you have better things to do. So we always say like weekends are for family and not for folding. And so for us, we want to make sure that the process is always convenient, right? So if there's any part in that process that makes it like, then we're not doing our job, right? So from the time that you go on that website and you click that button, it has to be quick, fast, whatever. It has to be able for you to schedule, for you to see where your laundry is, when it's coming back, all those types of things. And so we had to build out all those systems. I wasn't a tech person, honestly, and so I had to get someone to help build out all those systems to make it easy. So on the back end, we have to make sure our drivers are on time, so the geo tracking, so it's the same thing like us for Amazon. So we're actually more of a logistics company than we are laundry, because it takes so many different pieces to do. So people just look at us like it's just laundry, but there's so many different pieces on the back end that we have to make sure so that it's like you get the best customer experience. We're proud to say we've had a 5-star Google rating for the past 3 years. Just how people say that it just makes it easy, the quality, everything like that. So Yeah.
Yeah. It's the systems that you got to build that, and you have to stay flexible to know that you have to grow.
Yeah.
You know, and part of growing is also letting go. So there's some things that you no longer do. Yeah. So what are those things? Because sometimes businesses, and we found that we only have two hands on purpose. God gave us these fingers, but sometimes you kind of put your hands. What's some things that you no longer do because that's not the best use of your hands?
Laundry. Laundry. Now I will do a delivery every now and then if it's just someplace where I'm gonna be in that direction. But definitely the laundry. I think I've paid my dues with actually doing that piece of it. But I'm still a present force. I'm still like the face behind the brand. So I definitely make sure that clients, they do see me. They're able to interact with me, talk with me at any time, because I want to make sure that the lines of communication, I don't want it to just be like a faceless brand, right? Obviously we have competition, but it's like, who wants to like send that whole, well, someone will get back to you in 48 hours, right? So we want to make sure that we're making it convenient for people to talk to us. So yeah, still, do a little bit, but for the most part, the team is amazing and awesome, and you're going to get like the same experience whether you're here or you're in Atlanta, because we make sure that we hire the best and that we train them the best.
Now, that's a good question. We're going to open the floor up. We're going to open the floor. And I'm glad you said that. So now your ideal customer, when I talk to people, because I'm in the food space, right? Yeah. And sometimes I show people what you're spending, the time you go to the grocery store. Yeah. You really don't know what you're buying, because you're buying based on price and not the quality of meat, because I can get you a better cut of meat. But then I'm also, in my production as a chef, I'm able to massage that meal to a point where even I'm keeping the nutrition, because I'm not overcooking it, right? So you still got some crunch, some acidity to your string beans, right? So I know that. You know the same thing when it comes to clothes. Cotton is real or not, right? Tell me your ideal customer.
Yeah. So my ideal customer is like what we were saying before, is someone who realizes that their time is worth more. Right. And so it's like when we look at, people who are now, getting used to like convenience. So it's like the people who do like Uber Eats. And so it's just like, you're just used to like, I could do this, but I'm going to do this, and like the service, like people feel like it's a luxury, and it's like really not, like, it's like $30. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the package is like $30 to have someone come pick it up, wash it, dry it, fold it, package it, and then return it back to you either the same day or next day. So it's like, it's not something where, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to like get a second job to pay for it. It's just like, we have to get used to like delegation. And I think sometimes we find that hard to do. Yeah. So we have to sometimes take that cape off and just, get someone else to do it.
And so with the business growing and your ideal customer, what's your ideal business customer? That was your individual. Yeah. What is your ideal business customer?
Yeah. So our ideal business customer, we're actually doing more into like the healthcare space. So it is like our small clinics. So like they're too small for some of like the big players, but like too big to just kind of do it themselves, right? So they don't, they pay their staff to do stuff, not to do laundry. So like that kind of in between. So like I said, it'd be like your small clinics, like your dentist, like your small pharmacy, small medical centers. That's where like our sweet spot is when it comes to like a business client.
The reason I asked that, I was always leading, right? Because a lot of times in spaces like this, I learned a lot. Because even though we talked on the telephone, I wasn't thinking about your ideal business client. I was thinking about the individual. Yeah. I'm like, there might be someone in the room who's going to talk to you because they need to get their laundry done tomorrow, right? And I'm one of them, right? Because I'm like, do I have enough time to wash it? Because I got to go here, and because I got to wash and dry. Because you like, you can't just do, right?
That's right.
So there might be an ideal customer in here. Yeah. But I want us to know that sometimes we might be the bridge to another client. So if we know what you're looking for, the company I work for, because we do have an opportunity where we have a store now. So I'm like, we can do that. If someone was thinking about your business and being able to refer your business, what would you tell them to do? How can we talk about your business to people in our circle?
Yeah. So it's funny. It's like also seeing opportunities. And of course I'm used to it because of course it's my business. But when you look at anything that needs to be laundered, pressed, dry clean, like that is exactly what we do. So anyone that you see that looks sharp and that they always have to wear, so like your lawyers, your accountants, etc. Even places like I'll see event places. When you look at like tablecloths, when you look at even curtains, like we do contracting where we do like the floor length curtains, chef uniforms, those types of things. So anything like that is like a uniform, property managers, so that is a good entryway for us so that we can get the residents, in apartment buildings and that type of thing. So anything that really needs to be laundered.
And the more we think about our businesses and how we can help our businesses, it all grows.
Yeah.
So sometimes the best person that we serve is literally right there in front of us. Mm-hmm. So what I want to do is open the floor. If there are any questions, are you comfortable with that?
Of course, yeah.
All right. Any questions? Anybody have a question?
I got one real quick.
It would be the guy with the mic, right?
And then you go next. Franchise.
Yes.
Are you a franchise yet?
Our goal is to franchise. It's a lot with franchising, but that's our goal, to franchise.
And will like your the way I hear about your business, I'm an investor as well. I try to find small things to invest my money into.
We'll take
it. And I'm like, I wonder if she got a franchise in some different levels, but I could at least come on in on the low level or something, just because I know like the demand is there.
Yeah, it is.
And you just getting started, so it's like, are you thinking about franchise?
Oh yeah, and we're definitely open to any conversation like that. So licensing, partnerships, those types of things, we're definitely open to that. So we're definitely franchising.
Wonderful. That's how we grow. My brother.
All right, so this is not a business Wednesday question, it's a personal question.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Recently separated?
Yes.
And when she used to do all the cooking and the laundry and all that stuff?
Yes.
Now I'm doing it.
Yes.
How do I separate my laundry?
Yeah. Call her and let her come and do it. But go ahead. That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing is that, so on the basic level, of course we already know about, we want to keep our whites and our reds, and nothing turns pink, right? So we already know like the basics with that, but never wash like your linen, like, so like when you look like your towels and those types of things, because they will start, shedding, right? So that's how you get like those little, dots that are really impossible to get off. When it comes to, so you're a male, so you may not think about this, but for women, when it comes to like bras and things that have like zips, like don't put them with your regular laundry, because that's what happens. Like the zippers and all the bra clasps and all that, they start doing that. They start, with the agitation of that. So, but as far as like separating, if you just remember like, likes and likes, then that would be fine. But I will say that they've come out with more, advanced ways. Like we have like color catchers. So for the people who are just like, I'm just going to throw everything in, they do have color catchers that make sure that things don't bleed on each other. So that would be helpful. So if you don't want to do that, so
I'm like color catchers. Color chaser. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
so
cool.
Make sure that nothing bleeds. So, but definitely just don't do like nothing else. Don't do your towels with your regular clothes.
See, me too, man. I'm an all-in guy.
Oh, and when you're washing, make sure that you turn things on the right side. Like never wash things like inside out, because then it really doesn't get like the stained oils, all that stuff, the dirt that's on the outside, of your.
Man, I'm glad you asked that question, because I turn my jeans inside out.
To turn jeans inside out.
No, so when it comes to fading, one of the things they would remember that sometimes we're actually even washing clothes, more than what we need to. Like jeans weren't made to like wash after every wear. Now, of course, if it's heavy soiled or, that type of thing, but we're also washing way too much as well. Some of our clothes, and I know our community, so I know when I talk, I'm talking to my people.
Yeah,
so I get like
you just wore it. You better wash that.
But that is more of what is causing the fading, and also using too much detergent. So that's going to allow it to. So when you see like all those soap
you just
bubbles,
want to fill the whole cup, right?
Yeah, no. It is really designed for like 2 tablespoons of like detergent to be used. So when you've seen all that soap suds and you're like, oh, it's just really getting clean, it's not. So that's like really residue and a lot of things that are now being, washed into your clothing. And just try to get on a regular schedule when it comes to washing, because that's why we talk about like infection control. You go outside and all the things that are out there go into your clothes, and you come inside and you put it in a pile. You're breathing in all of that, so the people who, wait until like a month or so before you wash your clothes, you're like creating like bacteria grounds, you're breathing like all this bacteria. So try to get like on a regular schedule, not every day, but, get on a regular schedule of doing your clothes as well.
All right. Great question. We got one in the back.
Oh, my question was, for the average person, not the business owner, like that, but us regular people. Mr. Tate asked if somebody wanted to, how do we promote or sell your product to people, the regular people? So if I said, okay, so I met this lady in Wisdom Wednesday today, and she has her laundry business, and girl, you need to call her. What's the requirement? Like, is there a minimum? Do you a low minimum, a price amount?
Great question.
How does that work? So we can at least start to promote.
Yeah. So the first thing is just let's talk about the areas. So we service Maryland, DC, and Northern Virginia. So the only places we won't go is across the bridge, because I tell my team, if I'm not gonna go, then I'm not gonna make you go, and I don't do bridges. So anyone in Maryland, DC, and Northern Virginia is a good customer for us. There is no minimum. There's no minimum, so we will go. So like I said, one bag of laundry is like $30. Like if you get on, like, we do have a monthly subscription because we know you're gonna need it all the time. But if you do a la carte, it's $35. So anyone that, even when you have like big comforters that can't fit into your washing machine, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And our pricing includes pickup and delivery. So there's very much, as far as price transparency, we're not gonna hit you with like, oh, and then we also added this. And you also can customize it as well. So if you need things hung up, or you want to say like, hey, my gym clothes, I like to do that in cold water or whatever, so they don't shrink, all that good stuff, we'll do that as well. And our drivers are really friendly. And we will go up the stairs.
Okay, you got a question right beside you. All right, it's all good. Okay, good.
Hey. Yeah. Okay.
What made you choose one? What was the why? Did you select this? Like, I know you mentioned there's something about $20, but why this as opposed to something else?
Yeah.
That's the advice question. The technical question is, you mentioned something about using AI to take over certain aspects of your operations. The things that you mentioned that you guys are exploring currently are the parts of your business model that I would imagine would fit for like entry level folks coming in, right? So like a delivery person or a person who's sorting through the laundry. So how do you square that with your earlier comments about workforce development and empowering your team to grow and upskilling them so they can take on managerial positions, if in this process you use those entry points for new workers coming into a field like yours?
Gotcha. So as far as
Great question.
Yeah. So as far as the entry, we'll never be able to automate like the laundry process itself. Oh, we won't be able to automate the laundry. Oh, okay. We won't be able to automate the laundry process itself, right? And so that is something that we definitely will keep. So there's always going to be someone's hands on it. But when we look at efficiency and we look at scale, there's some things that we just have to say, it just makes sense, especially as we expand into different areas, right? And as we continue to grow. So there's some things that we don't have to examine every piece of clothing if there's like a way of doing that. So we don't look at the AI that we talk about as kind of taking away, but it's kind of enhancing the process and making it a better, more efficient process for the people that are still doing it. So it's not taking away their jobs, it's giving them the tools so that they can actually be more effective in their job. So then there was something else about the
Your
managerial.
why.
Yeah.
Those of us who, have entrepreneurship sort of on the heart or on the mind, choose your why to move forward if you're not exactly like someone like my good sister here who's passionate about cooking.
Yeah, definitely not passionate. Right. So I definitely was not passionate about it, but I'm passionate about the why, like you said. So it's not about the laundry piece, but it's the how it actually helps people, and it creates, for besides the pathway, like I said, but how it actually transforms people's lives. And so those were the examples I say. So I'm really passionate about that. So as we say, like, we marry the vision, but we date, like, how we do it, right? So I will always be in a position where I'm helping other people, making their lives better, because that's just, inside of me want to do. But the laundry is just a pathway for that. And so I did it because I saw an opportunity to help a friend. So that was the why. But I continue to do it because I see now that it's much bigger than just, oh, I don't like doing laundry. It's much bigger. It's more of like dignity when it comes to people who, like I said, are aging in place. It's more about, those are the types of things that are a little bit more important. It's about, like I said, those kids who are being bullied because they come to school and they have like a little bit of smell to them, because their mom or dad didn't have access to a washing machine. Like, that's the reason why we do, what we do. So it's like those types of stories, is why I continue to do it.
Now, we have some more food, and we're going to go to the traumery and all. But so when we get into our By Our Hands and we get into this Business Wisdom Wednesday, we know that we have to sustain our businesses. Mm-hmm. That's why it's By Our Hands. And we have to not only network, but we have to weave that interrelationship so that we know, I'm use your word, while we're in business. Mm-hmm. But we also know that business it doesn't only benefit us, it benefits the we, right? Yeah. So that moves us to a legacy. Yeah. What will be your legacy? Before you answer that, I know it's more than money. Mm-hmm. This year, because we have some accountants in here, your business netted. I'm sorry, what was your number this year?
So last year, 489,000.
What is what is your prepared to be number for this year?
Yeah, so we're looking at 1.2.
Yes, nice. Say it loud.
We're looking at 1.2. But I always say, it's not what you make, it's how much you keep, right? Yeah. And so as we go back to what I was saying before, we still have to make sure that our operations are lean, right? So, we know where our expenses lie. Expenses, for us, staff, gas, maintenance, all the things, because we have vans going up and down every single day. And so we have to find ways of becoming more lean so that we're also, because I don't want to be that employer that I have to worry about payroll. Right? I don't want to have those types of problems. So I want to make sure that everything that we do, from even the bags that we use, the supplies that we use, just everything is in alignment. Because once again, you look at this big number, you have to remember we're making it off of $30. So it's not like I'm a coach or a consultant that charges $2,500. So it's easy to get to that number. Getting to that number is really hard for a service like that. And so we have to make sure the customer service is there. So if you talk to someone who had the laundry basket, we want to make sure that they say positive things about us, about everyone. And so we build a culture that everyone understands why we do what we do. So we talk about that all the time, so they all know why we do what we do and that the customer comes first. But we want to make sure that we're around. We want to make sure that if we were to leave, like, people are like, oh my God, the laundry basket. Like, we want to make sure that we're having that type of impact on our customers.
And you are. And that's why you're here. And that's why Business Wisdom is here. You started out, my first question was about purpose. Yeah. And you didn't start with your numbers. We want people to know it's okay to make money. Mm-hmm. When I made my first million, we were doing lunches for charter schools. Mm-hmm. We were providing a meal every day to make sure children who were just like me could come to school and have a breakfast on time and a lunch on time. Yeah. And the people who worked with us knew the children by name because it was a part of the experience, the lunchtime experience. Now, my friends at Howard are like, you doing what? But I knew the numbers. Yeah. You know your numbers. Mm-hmm. And until I got comfortable saying that number out loud, because it wasn't about that. Mm-hmm. It was about the impact that allowed me, because the more money we made, the more we were able to feed. That's right. And the more we were able to grow that company and hire more people, right? That's right. And so your impact will lead you into a legacy. Yeah. Can you share out loud with us? What do you see now? Because you know more than you did when you first started with that first customer. Yeah. What do you know now that you know will be your legacy?
Wow. So our legacy is that we want to make sure that people, underrepresented people have access to, create wealth for themselves as well. And that's, so like I said, I always go back to the workforce development because that is really the heart of what I do, because it wouldn't be done without the amazing people that, that work with me. And so my legacy is that I want to make sure that people don't have the stress, the frustration, the overwhelm that comes with doing laundry, because it's not necessary, right? I want people to have joy and peace and actually do the things that they value. Laundry is something that we have to do, but it's not something that we want to do, if we're completely honest, right? It's not, there's a few that always be like, oh, I love to do laundry. Okay, but there's very few people that love to do that, right? And so we know it's one of those quote unquote necessary evils, but how do we make that experience a little bit better for people, right? So that, like I said, you can spend time on your weekend doing something other than that. You can go to sleep instead of these loads of clothes. So I want to make sure that people understand that there's just an easier and convenient way of doing it.
Sister, I thank you for who you are and who you're becoming. It's all of us that when we pull into each other and our businesses, then it becomes our community.
Yeah.
And that community will have the ability to sustain our generation.
Yeah.
We can't expect somebody else's generation or someone else's community to provide for us.
Yeah.
And so thank you for providing a pathway and staying connected. Can y'all please give my sister a hand? This is what Business Wisdom Wednesday is all about. Once a month, we come together to share love, to grow.
Thank you.
Now, before we get up, because we want to still say things, I know that there was one question I should have asked you that you want to share. And I think we all hear, you know how the artists always come back on the stage and say, okay, I got one more song. Luther never leaves the stage. He always comes. Y'all know about Luther. He always come back and give us one more, right?
Yeah.
Can you give us one more before we go?
Gotcha. Okay.
Some of y'all say, who's Luther? I know we got some young people in here. You know who Luther was?
Wow. When it comes to one more, I would say just surround yourself with some great people. Surround yourself with people who not only celebrate you, but also are there when you're going through those times. I think that's so important as well. And also learn about collaborating and teaming. I didn't go into that, but 90% of the success that we've had has been because we've been able to collaborate and team up with other people. And so don't be afraid of like someone, they're doing the same thing, or they may take, yes, we all know that those instances are there, but there's actually people who really want to help. And it's like using like their people and like, getting together and just kind of like, how can we do this together? How can we make money together? Is so important. Exactly. So we have to have like that mentality and like that, not that scarcity of like, it's all about me, right? And so we're always open to like, support other businesses, come together, do things together and see how we can, get that money. So,
thank you. See? I knew there was more. You all, please. We have Jimmy Juice. You have more food, the Charmery, the pottery. This is all love. Thank you. Ceramics. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Ceramics is all love. Let's get connected.